everybody. Welcome back to day 2, chapter 2 of our reading of our call center operations book, More Advice from a Call Center Geek, here by the fire. Chapter 2, Management Trust Equation, a true story. Call centers have a lot of working parts and a lot of people who try to keep everything running smoothly. What is the best way to manage a call center? Do you know? Let me tell you a little story of how I learned what works best for me and my staff. Let's go back to 2002. I was a young, naive 20-something with a total type A personality who was put into a management role in the call center I was working at. I became the AM production coordinator, which means I had progressed up the ladder until I was in charge of about 15 supervisors and about 175 associates. It was up to me to be sure that my AM shift was hitting all of its qualitative and quantitative goals for all the clients that we worked for. The AM shift had always outperformed the PM shift. Soon after taking this position, though, my shift started to struggle. Our numbers weren't as good, our quality scores were dropping, and our turnover rate was going up. All this meant basically that we were becoming less profitable. I was summoned upstairs to see my boss. When I got into her office, she asked what the heck was going on. I told her that I was doing everything right. That if someone had a bad monitoring score, that person was written up immediately. If someone's sales were down, they got put on corrective action. There was literally no one on the floor who I had not talked to about what they were doing wrong. She asked me, "Do the people on the floor trust you?" "Absolutely," I said. Then she asked me to define what trust was. Trust means you don't lie to people, that you're honest and trustworthy. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving them honest feedback to let them know what they were doing wrong so I can help them. "Yes, that's part of it," she said, "but it's a very small part of it." She told me she had learned something important through all the years of working in a call center. That call center trust equals character plus competence plus motivation. She asked me to consider what other word could be substituted for trust. I was supposed to come back to her and tell her when I had it figured out. I obsessed over this. What could it be? After much longer than I'd like to admit, it did come to me, but I had to start by breaking down what the words in her equation meant to us in the call center. Character. That's a lot to think about. Your work character starts to grow as you come into the workplace, but is honed when you really come into a management role. You have to make the job your own. It begins with making sure that you're there on time every day, that you're dressed appropriately, and that you show that you care about the job that you do. Character comes through in how you are viewed while you are on the floor. It's about not backstabbing people. It's about not using bad language. It's about not lying to coworkers. It's about letting your team know that they can depend on you to do the right thing. It's putting your team before yourself. Competence. Many managers equate competence with being the person who knows more than everybody else. We all know that person. However, the truest form of competence is being able to make more good decisions than bad ones. It's not about knowing everything. It's about making better decisions, but you can see what the outcome could be. This knowledge comes from when you take the time to listen to your team. Listening allows you to make suggestions alongside your team before you put together the best answers to take back to management. When I first started, I felt very, very threatened when someone else had a great idea. If this sounds familiar, know that you are not alone. But you need to just listen. You really need to listen to what the people on the floor are telling you. They live and breathe this job and are on the front lines and often have really, really great ideas. Motivation. To be trusted, you have to be motivating. Not every manager is a cheerleader type, but you still need to stay positive with your team. When you're positive, your team will feed off of that energy. When you're negative, they will feed off that as well. Negative energy is counterproductive. You need to spread lots of positivity in your contact center. You can still give corrective actions when warranted and need to, but you are coaching in a way that gets your point across without the employee getting defensive. If they get upset, don't take it personally. Keep your positive attitude when you're out on the floor. Show that you have the motivation to get things done in the right way for the entire team. Trust comes from showing that you are real and you want to help others succeed. Competence shows when you make good decisions that benefit both the company and the associates. Motivated people are positive, and others naturally gravitate towards them. This brings me back to the word that my manager wanted me to figure out. When I finally had that light bulb moment, I went back to see her. I knocked on the door, poked my head inside, and I said the word respect. That's the word. That is management. She was right. Knowing everything, being bossy, and correcting everyone is not what gives you power. True power lies with the supervisor or manager who is respected and trusted because they are competent in their job, have high character, and are positive and motivating. This idea is the bedrock upon which Expivia is built. This experience from my 20s is something I now use with all of my supervisors, especially when they are having a rough time of it. When I see someone on the floor not performing like they should or having issues on their team, I will ask them one question after they tell me that they are doing everything right. Do your reps trust you? Keep this in the back of your mind as we make it through the next couple chapters. That's the end of chapter 2. We'll be back tomorrow for chapter 3.